Okay, today we are going to start adding the water. So once you have your watercolor pencils filled in, and remember you want to get that filled in really nice and completely so that you don't have those white spaces showing. And you're going to be using just a paintbrush and a bowl of water to kind of activate that paint. So once you have that done, you're going to take a paintbrush, and these are pretty small. I'm just going to carefully paint on top of each color, and it definitely starts to blend those colors together. You want to be aware of your color that you're using, because I have this yellow path here, so I want to make sure I don't get any of that green on top of the yellow path. I'm going to go slowly also around these little hoofs parts, so you can kind of tell I'm going pretty slowly with sort of the tip of that paintbrush, and you can see it's just starting to blend those colors together nicely, and it just starts to look a little more like a painting rather than a colored in picture. I don't have to dip my brush in the water unless it starts to look like it's dried out. The water, usually you don't need too much of it, and I'm just going to dip the tip of my brush. I'm not going to rinse it out because I do want that paint kind of in there still from the color that I've already used. And I used, I think, a little bit of yellow with my green. All right, now let's say I want to go back and kind of do these green areas. I could keep working with my green and keep working on getting those painted in, and I think I probably would do that. But I might be done with the green. So let's see what happens if I'm done with the green. Okay, so I finished up all that green. You can see it's all kind of blended together. Now I want to switch to a different color. So just like I would with paint, I'm going to give my brush a little bit of a bath, kind of rinse that green out of there, and then I'll probably go back to start using the pink. And I love those colors. They're mixing really nicely. I'm again going to go slowly around the horse so I don't get that pink on top of my gray horse. And I'm going to continue to work on that until I have all the pink done. I'll rinse out my brush and do something else. I might not want to paint these in because the colors are pretty close together. So for my rainbow, I might just leave those just with the texture of the colored pencil. But once I have that finished, I will put that in the drying rack for you. You can see some of these extra examples kind of look interesting. Some of the texture I think I painted right here with the brown, that looks really nice. The black is going to be a little bit of a darker hue, so if you use black, you're not going to need as much of that on your paper because it does actually color in pretty dark. And that is how we're going to do our water.